Both presidential candidates are making their pitches to voters in key demographics on issues that matter most. Immigration, of course, and border policy among the top issues on voters' minds. Former President Trump and President Biden offer two very different perspectives on immigration. So joining me now, consultant and writer Carmen Pelaez, and along with President of Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles and International Human Rights Group, Alfonso Aquilar. Thank you both for being with us today. Good morning. Alfonso, let's go ahead and start with you. Trump and the GOP, they've been criticized on their rhetoric around immigration. What do you think were some of the key takeaways from the Republicans' message on the issue at the convention there?
Well, I think President Trump is offering a proposal, a way out of this crisis that President Biden has created that most Americans agree with. Most Americans believe that the border is out of control. They blame Biden for it. They're not happy with how he's handled the issue. President Trump is saying that we need to achieve operational control of the border. The circumstances of the immigration issue has changed dramatically. We've never seen this massive movement of people like we're seeing right now. It's unprecedented. It's a threat to national security, but also it's a threat to migrants themselves. This journey to the border is very, very dangerous. Over 60% of women, girls are victims of sexual assault, rape. The massive movement of people facilitates child trafficking. So the idea is to seal the border, expand fencing, reestablish the Remain in Mexico policy, and we're going to have to deport people. The majority of Americans today believe that we should deport people. We have to send a clear message that we are a nation of laws and that if you want to come to America, we welcome you, but it has to be legal and orderly.
And Carmen, the president has recently announced sweeping executive actions to offer a pathway to citizenship for roughly 500,000 undocumented immigrants, while Trump proposed mass deportations during the RNC. So how do you think people across America are reacting to both of these approaches?
I think people understand that mass deportation is a failure. It's a fascist action. It is not a democratic action. Immigration is our superpower. The Republicans keep saying they want to do something about immigration, but when the bill was there for them to sign, they all got a call from President Trump and they turned it down. Look, border crossings have been down in the last 6 months. Every attempt that this administration has made to make them more humane with the parole for Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians, much more humane process, trying to get more judges, trying to get more border patrol. Republicans are the ones that do not want to fund it. They say it's a problem, but they block any kind of attempt to take care of it. These immigrants are families. These are people desperate to work, desperate to be a part of our democracy, to be the part of the process of our democracy. And what ex-President Trump is offering them is mass deportation, fear, family separation. I live in Miami. Every time I come in from a flight and I come in through baggage claim, I see these families being reunited with these gorgeous balloons with the American flag on them. Welcome to America, welcome home. It's a beautiful thing. These are people that are contributing trillions to our economy, $7 trillion to our economy over the next 10 years. They contribute to federal taxes, they contribute. Our economy right now would be wasted if it weren't for the contribution of these immigrants. Why are we vilifying them? Why are we threatening to blow up our economy with a mass deportation plan that hasn't ever worked? It's always been inhumane, and as President Eisenhower proved, it's amoral as well.
And Alfonso, let's talk about the families that Carmen was just talking about, because we know that there are a number of mixed status families in the Latino community that have relatives living without legal status in the United States. So how do you see this playing out in November?
Well, look, again, most Americans favor deportation. Carmen says the deportation hasn't been effective. We haven't had any deportation program since the Eisenhower era. Again, we have to send a clear message that we welcome immigrants. I don't know what Carmen is talking about. We are pro-immigrant, but we're for legal immigration. It's inhumane and immoral, the system that Joe Biden has established. People are coming here, putting their lives at risk. People are dying. It's a national security issue. We're seeing an increased number of people in the list of terrorists coming in with links to criminal gangs. And again, migrants are dying. Women are being raped. Children are being trafficked because it's easier when you have this massive movement of people to get in the country. So we need to establish the rule of law but welcome immigrants legally. I think we have to make that distinction. And really, what Biden has done by doing away with common sense immigration measures, what he has done is create a crisis that is a national security crisis, but also a humanitarian crisis for the migrants themselves. It's not pro-immigrant, it's anti-immigrant.
And Carmen, let's talk about, we're talking about November here, and President Biden at times in some of these latest interviews has tried to change the narrative on what polls have shown to be three of his biggest weaknesses: immigration, the economy, and slipping support among Latino voters. What's your take on this?
Honestly, I'm baffled about the slipping support amongst Latino voters. All we hear from the Republican side is that it's immigrants that bring crime to this country. Immigration is automatically assumed that it's all Latino immigration. We know that crime is down, factually. We actually know that border crossings have been down for the last 6 months, factually. Factually, we know that Republicans voted against every common sense measure that they even put in the bill to counter this problem. Factually, we know that immigration was up before Biden. Immigration is a problem that we have faced for decades. We have needed immigration reform for decades, okay? And everybody has failed these immigrants. These crimes that you're talking about, yes, they're horrific. Then why is the Republican Party saying that these people come here and commit these crimes? Why is the Republican Party trying to end the parole system, which has helped with these border crossings? Also, let's look at the fact that the majority of people that get here to try and establish legal status here come by plane. They constantly vilify immigrants. They do not give the president the support financially that that these departments are begging for. They try and cut the programs that are there to help these immigrants. Meanwhile, they've arrested, I don't know, record arrests on drug cartels along the border, record fentanyl arrests. Let's look at the facts here. I know what the Republican story is, and unfortunately, fear sells, especially in this climate. I go by facts. Republicans voted against the immigration reform that they crafted because they thought it would hurt President Biden. Illegal border crossings are down in the last 6 months, and immigrants are here to contribute to this country, not to hurt it. And they do. They contribute financially, and they contribute in our communities. Our economy would collapse if it weren't for these immigrants.
Thank you so much, Carmen Pelaez and Alfonso Aquilar. Two very different sides of this issue, but I appreciate the very respectful conversation here on ABC News Live Weekend. Thank you so much.